of the city, right? And the agenda is Black Cincinnati. I mean, that's just off the top. I'm not criticizing anybody, but Michael Eric Dyson doesn't live in Cincinnati that I know of. He's not from this city. We'll see. I'm not sure. I'm sure it'll be great. The Black Agenda Cincinnati. Are you planning to attend? I would like to attend. Again, I called the number. I'll reach out to some other contacts and see if I can get a place there, especially as a member of the media. But, quite honestly, and I remember many years ago, Dwight Tillery organized a meeting of Black Democrats. Matter of fact, I was at that meeting. And it was very, very interesting. It was very, very interesting. I cannot recall everything there. But I do remember what the overall tone was. I remember as I was walking in, I was met with Todd Portune. He was there as well. And he, of course, there were some issues about white folks in the Democrat Party at that time, and whether white Democrats were really respecting and responding to the needs of so many of the Black constituents who give their votes, their time, their money, their energy to the Democrat Party. So this is right up Dwight Tillery's. This is in his lane. Okay. And I applaud those efforts. I most certainly do. The Black Agenda Cincinnati. I want to start the conversation here on the Nathan Ivey Show before then. The Black Agenda Cincinnati, because Black folks in Cincinnati do need a wake-up call. Dwight Tillery is right on point. Black people in Cincinnati, Black Cincinnati does need an agenda. It really does. In my viewpoint, and again, I have a very unique viewpoint working in the media so many different years, and still now doing this independent hustle. My viewpoint about Black Cincinnati is that there is a lot of Black Cincinnati is very cliquish. Very cliquish. You got a lot of good people. You got some nincompoops, but you got a lot of good people. But they all seem to be sort of insulated in their own little cliques. Okay. And some of it is around politics. Some of it is around money. But it does make you wonder, with a city with the population of African Americans that they do have, why Black folks don't have more, if you want to call it, power. And part of it, straight up and down, I'm here to tell you, and I've seen it firsthand, is that there is a real lack of unity in the community. Here we go again, it rhymes. Unity in the Black community in Cincinnati. Secondly, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of Black folks, even Black folks that's got some money, even Black folks that's got some positions that are scared out of their minds. Scared out of their minds. Scared that they're going to lose their job. Scared they're going to lose favor with whomever. There's a lot of that. I've witnessed this firsthand. A lot of it in the city of Cincinnati. If you live in Cincinnati, tell me I'm wrong. A lot of that. There's a lot of people in positions who you would think would have nothing to be fearful of, but they're scared out of their minds that somehow they're going to lose their position or have to fend for themselves or may lose favor with certain elements inside the city. I'm telling you, it's deep. This city is deep. So I'm saying all this to say that I think, again, that Dwight Tillery is right on point. I mean, we do need to have a conversation about the Black agenda in Cincinnati. But how do you unify a community like Cincinnati? I mean, what is that? What is that? There's a lot of good people in Cincinnati who are willing to put their fear aside and do what they think is right. You got a lot of good people in Cincinnati who are not able to do that. They're unwilling to do that. They feel incapable of doing that. Okay? They got to put food on the table. And I understand it. But, as we get ready for this meeting, the Black Agenda Cincinnati, I mean, just as a precursor, I mean, what should be on the agenda? I'll tell you one thing that Black Cincinnati does, and I'm endeavoring to do that. Black Cincinnati needs alternative media. You need alternative media. It can't be the same old watering holes that you don't control, whose ownership and power base is based outside of the city of Cincinnati. Why doesn't Cincinnati think it deserves that? Why doesn't Cincinnati believe that it deserves that? It's deep. It's deep. Corporate controlled media don't really give a damn about you. Haven't you learned that? Local means more than anything else. I don't care what they say. And give you free tickets to this and give you free tickets to that. At the end of the day, it's not about that. And you know that. And I know that better than most. And, you know, if you don't have spaces to share and communicate and to bridge these ideas, and that's controlled by entities that really have no allegiance to this locale whatsoever, then what do you really have? How do we foster more unity? Okay, because Cincinnati is very, very stratified. I mean, you know, you got some black elites in this city, quite honestly, you do. And they don't really give a damn. And in some cases, they look down upon black folks who might be lower than them socioeconomically. I've seen it firsthand. I've argued about the black elitism in this country, in this city, for many, many years. This ain't new to anybody. I wonder if these issues will be brought up in this meeting. If I'm there and they're not, then I will bring them up myself. You know, I ain't got no problem with that. But, you know, again, you know, I think Dwight Tillery's got like a sixth sense, man. I think he's right on point with this. We do need to at least have the conversation. But I wonder if the conversation about the lack of black independent media sources will come up, you know, in that meeting. If I'm there, I'll bring it up. You know that off the top. I ain't no problem with it. Here are some of the details I'm reading on Facebook. The purpose of the Black Agenda is to bring the black community of Cincinnati together to prioritize our challenges as a race. Together, we will develop a strategic plan to address those challenges to move our people forward in all aspects of our lives. Sounds like committee work. Sounds like committee work. So my question is, are we going to have some new faces that really represent those who need on those committee, or will it be the same old faces from the same old places? Okay. I'm challenging everything. I can do that. I know they're going to have a conversation about voter apathy, because that's a real problem in Cincinnati, voter apathy. Half the population, but then less than half of that or half of that registered voters actually show up to vote in local elections. In local elections. So what can we do as a black community in the city of Cincinnati, right, to deal with voter apathy? I got a response from Mr. Triggs. He says that next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, is good for him, so you can expect to hear him on the Nathan Ivey Show live and local, okay? So Mr. Triggs is running for Hamilton County prosecutor. Everybody's belly aching about the current Hamilton County prosecutor. But how do we get people, okay? How do we get black people specifically, so we're talking about the Black Agenda, how do we get black people specifically to get off that A and get out there and become informed and vote? How do we do that? I mean, what haven't we been doing? I mean, because the efforts are out there now. I'm not trying to say those efforts are not out there, because we know that there's good, smart, intelligent people that understand and believe in exactly what they identify what I'm saying right now. Those efforts are out there, but we're not reaching the people. How do we do that? How do we do that? How can we, with the Black Agenda, address the lack of black home ownership inside the city of Cincinnati? How do we do that? How can we, with the Black Agenda meeting, address the incredible disparity in black wealth between white homes and black homes inside the city of Cincinnati? How do we do that? How do we address the non-nuclear family? How do we get these brothers to get down on bended knee and make a commitment to these sisters and vice versa and raise their families together in peace and harmony and love, right, in a partnership moving forward? How do we address these issues? I mean, some of this stuff is huge and big and complicated. It really is. So, you know, it's really going to be interesting. You know, I'm going to try to reach out to Mr. Dwight Tillery. If I've got to call the Center for Closing the Health Gap directly, I will do that. I've sent voice messages. I will do that to see if we can get him here on the Nathan Ivey Show. I know since I'm doing my little show for my little website, I'm not as important to some people as they used to think I was. But these people lack vision. They just can't see what's coming. They're not like you and I. But I will make those. I will make those connections. Oh yeah, it's amazing how things shake out, and how people feel what your value is. Nobody can tell me my worth. My flow has never changed. It doesn't matter from where I broadcast. It only matters if people tune into the broadcast, wherever that may be. And the internet is the future. I'm a futurist. I can see the future. Many people in Cincinnati cannot. They cannot. But I'll reach out to Mr. Dwight Tillery to see if we can get him on. He's a bright, smart, intelligent man who's doing big things. And from my vantage point, he cares very much about Cincinnati. I don't have any information that would contradict that. So I don't have any reason to say anything different. To get his thoughts, I'll run some of these thoughts past him. Sounds like committee work. I know we're not just going to have a meeting, have Dr. Michael Eric Dyson talk, get us all ready to talk and ready to go. Oh yeah, I'm feeling the flow. And then he leaves, and then there's a bunch of committee work, and then we get some suggestions, but there's no real organizational structure, no manpower, no money behind it. Are the big money black folks from Cincinnati going to be at the meeting? Are they going to be willing to put their money where the agenda is? Because if not, then are we going to take donations? If so, whose bank account will the donations be in? I've got no problem with donations. I'm a trustworthy individual. Okay, I trust you. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I mean, we're going to need some of the political class. We're going to need the business class is going to have to be there. Will Mr. Zimmerman be there? He has a very influential role here in the city of Cincinnati. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just spitballing. I'm just riffing. And again, I think that Dwight Tillery is onto something. I think that things are very, very critical, especially as we get ready for an upcoming election. Okay, I know a lot of people are committed to the Democrats, or maybe you're not, but a lot of black people historically vote for the Democrat. That's great, but what are they going to deliver for you? For us specifically in Cincinnati, Hamilton County, we are the battleground county in the battleground state in America. If we can't put our foot down and say, Hillary, Bernie, Donald, this is what we're looking for, then no one can. Then no one can. But are we willing to do it? Are we willing to do it? I used to get, when I was at my old job, I used to get little tidbits of information for individuals. Hey, Nathan, you heard about this? I don't get that anymore. I'm not looking for it. But what it tells me is that people make judgments about your value based upon where they think you are. I don't have to be on somebody else's platform to have a superlative flow. I don't need that. Other people may think that I need that, but it's very, very interesting. I'm talking about black people. Black people. So there really needs to be a coming together in the black family in Cincinnati. There really does, from all levels, on all levels. And, if we did that and truly supported one another, and stop trying to picket people and tear people down and then hoist up a banner and say you're doing it for black people. I mean, that's so 1990s. You know what I'm saying? That's so old school, old millennium. There's too much that happens in the city. That's why you will never hear me say anything negative unless I've got a reason to say something negative. I don't need to tear people down. That's not my flow. That's not the strength of my charm. Okay? The strength of my charm is my tremendous flow, just an average Joe with a superb flow. So again, I'm going to make efforts really as soon as I do what I need to do for the show after we end this morning. I'm going to reach out, see if I can't get Mr. Tillery on the show to discuss it, what people might be willing to expect. I mean, 8 to 4 p.m. is a long damn time. Hey, I want to know when Michael Eric Dyson's going to be there. I'm just being honest with you. I don't want to get there at 8. He's going to be there at 1. Okay, I care about the black agenda. I really, really do. Will there be a place for alternative black media? Okay. Will there be a place for alternative black media? Because, hell, I mean, I've got the capabilities to broadcast live at any place, anytime. I might want to broadcast live. I might want to talk to some individuals. Will there be a place? Okay.